As he cautiously approached the corner, his hands trembled. His beloved cow was in an enclosure with this creature. Finally, he would witness it firsthand, but he was not ready for what he saw. Being a farmer all his life, his father had taught him to fear carnivores and keep them away. Yet his doubts began to surface as he saw the animal before him with his cow. Hello and welcome to Amazing Animal Stories. Today's story of a leopard who visits cow every night until farmer follows him and sees why. However, before we begin our story, we would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to our channel, Amazing Animal Stories, and also press the bell icon. Let's get started. Abraham Amel was an ordinary man. When his father retired, he inherited the family farm and took on the responsibility of running it. While it may not have been a glamorous life, it was all he knew. He grew up on the farm, learning from his father how to care for the cattle and crops and keep everything running smoothly. He was proud to be the farm owner now and worked hard to maintain the high standards set by his father. However, he would come across something unusual that his father had never encountered before every now and then, leaving him feeling perplexed. Abraham was an expert in raising livestock. His father's farm was renowned for its healthy and reliable cattle. He knew that his father would be proud of how well he was running the farm, continuing the legacy that his father had built. But there was one cow that stood out from the rest. She was the most prized possession of his herd. He named her Abiba, meaning beloved in Arabic, as she was particularly dear to him. He kept her in a separate pen away from the other cows to ensure her well-being and safety. Abiba had a difficult start in her life. Her mother rejected her at birth because she was the smallest of her litter. Abraham couldn't bear to see an animal suffer and took it upon himself to nurse her back to health. Despite her fragile state, Abiba slowly regained her strength with his care and attention. He formed a strong bond with the little cow and ensured she would survive. He also decided not to sell her and kept her closely, watching her while she was on his farm. However, he never expected that she would soon have an unexpected visitor. At night, strange occurrences began happening around Abiba's pen. Abraham would wake up in the morning and make his rounds feeding the animals. But when he arrived at Abiba's pen, he would find something was amiss. The fence of her enclosure had been broken open. His eyes widened in shock as he rushed inside to check on her. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. As he peered into the pen, he noticed that the straw had been disturbed and the wood had deep scratches. He looked around to find his beloved cow, Abiba, sleeping peacefully in the pen. He examined the markings more closely and couldn't believe what he saw. The marks seemed to be those of a predator. He was relieved that Abiba was unharmed, but couldn't understand why the predator had entered the pen yet left her alone. He spent the entire day reinforcing the pen, ensuring nothing could get in. He couldn't shake off the feeling of confusion and uncertainty as to why this had happened. Abraham went to sleep feeling pleased with his efforts from the day before. But when he awoke the next day, he was met with a frustrating sight. Despite his hard work, the pen had been broken into yet again. He was confused and couldn't understand how this was happening. His cow, Abiba, was unharmed once more. But what was the cause of these break-ins? He repaired the pen again, but this time he decided to install a camera to discover what was happening. He was determined to get to the bottom of this mystery. As expected, when Abraham awoke the next morning, he found the fence broken again, but Abiba was still content. This time, he was ready to view the footage from his installed camera. As he sat down and turned on his computer, he couldn't have imagined what he was about to discover. As he watched the footage, he saw a mysterious creature effortlessly breaking into Abiba's pen. The creature approached the cow and did something that Abraham never thought possible. The creature approached Abiba and sat down beside her. Abraham's heart was pounding as he watched a wild animal seemingly interact with his cow. But to his surprise, nothing happened. Abiba was snuggling up to the creature. It seemed like they were familiar with each other. She appeared content, even happy with the animal by her side. It was clear they had met before. However, the animal was not from his farm. It was far more dangerous and deadly. Abraham was still in shock from what he had seen in the footage. His first thought was to contact the authorities or take matters into his own hands. However, since the animal had not shown any aggression towards Abiba, he decided to take a more cautious approach. He spent time considering his next move, and when he finally decided, he knew that others would think him crazy if they found out. But his curiosity and concern for Abiba's safety outweighed his doubts. Despite having video evidence, Abraham's curiosity was too much to ignore. He felt compelled to get a closer look at the creature. He knew that what he was about to do was unorthodox and dangerous, but he was determined to catch the animal in the act. He learned that it visited the pen every morning around 4 a.m., an hour before he would usually wake up. He decided to go to bed early and set a trap to catch it in the act. But as it approached the pen, he could feel his nerves getting the best of him. As he cautiously approached the corner, his hands trembled. His cherished cow Abiba was in the enclosure with this creature. Finally, he would witness it firsthand, but he was not ready for what he saw. Being a farmer all his life, his father had taught him to fear predators and keep them away. But his doubts began to surface as he saw the animal before him with Abiba. The animal was interacting peacefully with his cow. It was not what he was taught to expect from a predator. The animal that broke into his pen every night was a leopard. He noticed the leopard's affection towards the cow, as if it seemed to be watching it and checking in on it every night. The farmer couldn't help but wonder if the leopard could sense that the cow was weak and needed protection. Abraham was at a loss as he stared at the leopard in the pen. Despite its natural instincts as a predator, it connected with his cow and actively looked after it. He realized he needed to adjust his approach, and instead of trying to fight the leopard, he decided to let things be. He knew the leopard's presence would also protect his other livestock from other wild animals. Abraham came to the realization that the leopard was not a threat to his farm, but rather an unexpected protector. Instead of trying to drive it away, he welcomed it as a member of his animal family. This was a new concept for him and went against his father's traditional ways. But he knew that sometimes change could be good. The leopard continued to visit Abiba every night, ensuring her safety and keeping other predators at bay. Abraham no longer had to worry about the well-being of his beloved cow. As time passed, the leopard grew more accustomed to its presence on the farm. Abraham provided him food and ensured it was comfortable. He knew that his farm was unusual, but he was happy with how things had turned out. He looked forward to passing on this unique way of farming to his son, just as his father had done for him. And that's the story of how a farmer and a leopard formed an unlikely friendship. It shows that you never know what kind of connections you'll make in life, and that sometimes the unexpected can bring about the greatest surprises. So that's it for today. Let us know your views in the comments section below. We hope you found this story very interesting. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel, Amazing Animal Stories. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our uploads. Thanks for watching. We will see you next time.